everyone. Welcome back to Classic Comics. So, a couple of weeks ago, I did a video talking about how the comic press is finally admitting that the overwhelming left wing bias in comics may be a problem and more diversity of thought in comics is needed. I'll put a link to that up here in the corner. Now, we have a couple of articles here and these actually came out a couple of weeks ago, so I'm late on this. But we have comic retailers now finally talking publicly about how poor the sales are and how comic shops are struggling. And they admit that it's because the current comics being published just aren't very good. Now, this isn't news to anyone who's been paying attention for the last several years, but comics retailers admitting this publicly is news since many of them have either been silent, denying the problem, or shifting the blame for poor sales. But now they're admitting the comics aren't good, and part of the problem is too many variant covers, too many crossover events that nobody wants, a serious drain of talent, i.e., the current crop of comic pros aren't very talented, and the publishers just don't have compelling visions for their characters. All right, now, so let's get into this. This is from ICV2.com. So, comic sales lag in weak spring. Comic retailers reported weak sales for spring 2023, and as is usually the case when comics or any entertainment medium has a sustained period of lackluster engagement, there's general agreement that the problem is between the covers of the books that are coming to market, especially from Marvel Comics and DC Comics. Quote, there's not a lot that a retailer can do about product that isn't exciting to customers, John Robinson of Midwest retail chain Graham Crackers Comics said. It's not like publishers are trying to publish mediocre product. They like every event to count and grab the public's attention. It's just not happening. Not trying to publish mediocre product. Okay, maybe, but are they really trying to publish good stuff? I mean, are they really trying to put out top quality stuff? I don't get the impression that they are. My impression is that they generally just don't care. Asked about Marvel and DC sales, Bob Schaefer of Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy in San Antonio had much the same observation. They're trending down because many retailers that I've spoken to, including myself, don't really see that there's much of a coherent editorial vision with them, he told us. They're chasing the same thing or chasing whatever they believe is the hot new thing. And across the country in California, San Francisco retailer Brian Hibbs of Comics Experience was singing the same song. It's across the board that periodicals are having a lot of trouble, he said. By and large, it's because the publishers have not been doing the thing they need to do, which is trying to increase their market and get new customers in. They're just trying to maximize the amount of money that they're getting from the people who are already buying comics, which worked for a while, but then it stopped working because people can smell sincerity. Hibbs noticed that the level of talent working in comics had declined, which was affecting the content pipeline. In this particular moment, the major issue that I see is people doing things outside of the market, he observed. By that, I mean doing Kickstarters, selling their books on Whatnot and Substack. That took a lot out of the marketplace when the top 10, 20, or top 50 creators all went off to work in a different market for a year or two. A lot of these people aren't working for Marvel or DC or even Image to get the material out there. And generally, I think what he's talking about here is, of course, during the pandemic, we had the whole pencils down thing, remember, where they stopped publishing for a while. And when that happened, a lot of the creators, particularly the top creators who have fan following and, were fairly certain they can sell comics, they left comics, or at least they left the main publishers and they went to Substack and places like that in order to publish books. And it's resulted in a big talent drain from the big two in particular, and there's just not that many good artists and writers that are left behind to work on comics. If you don't have big name people doing big name material at the big name companies, then where's the excitement in the market? Robinson of Graham Crackers also rued the weaker talent rosters. Lots of C-list creators put on major titles or events, he said. Less and less artists are willing to do interiors. So I think what you're looking at here in some ways is basically rats fleeing a sinking ship. A lot of these pros who can survive outside the comic business, or at least the mainstream comics market, they're leaving. And like they said, they're going to Substack, they're going to Kickstarter, whatever, because they can do better there, make more money there. And as a result, we're seeing a degradation in the talent working on the comics, which leads to worse comics, which leads to fewer sales. And that's on top of everything else that's going on with the comics, the political slant and just, all the other stuff. And yeah, it's just leading to a slow and steady death of the comics market. And at this point, I just don't really know that there's anything that's going to be able to turn it around. I think it's probably past the point of saving, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that the comics industry can still be turned around? Maybe it isn't the problem of talent leaving. Maybe the talent that's in comics is fine and the comics are fine. Maybe it's just marketing. Maybe they just need to market them better. But let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, please do like this video and please do sub to the channel and check out some of my other videos while you're here. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.